Hey, it's Danielle Smith. I want to talk to you about voting. As you may or may not know, for just more than a week now, I have been a United States citizen. Last Friday, I participated in an oath ceremony to become an American. I was one of 51 people in the St. Louis area who participated in that oath ceremony, and it was extraordinary. If you've seen the video I did shortly afterwards, I was very emotional. And one of the things that was so extraordinary about that particular ceremony, I was one of 3 Canadians. There were 11 people from Bosnia Herzegovina. There were 6 people from India, a couple of people from Vietnam, 2 from China, 1 from Yemen, 1 from the Congo, 1 from Nigeria, 1 from Ecuador. Uh, there are people coming from countries that are not easy to leave, and countries that most definitely do not have the system of government that we have, that do not have the rights and responsibilities and the freedoms that we have here in the United States. I have lived in the United States for the better part of my life, so I am familiar with the freedom that we have here. I've lived under the umbrella of this government for a long time. And I think that one of the things that made me so emotional was knowing that this particular ceremony was the very last oath ceremony I could have taken in this calendar year that would have allowed me to register to vote and be eligible to vote in the election this year. This will be the first time that I get to vote. And that's amazing. And for the people in that room, I'm familiar with this process. I've lived in a country where people have been allowed to vote, where people are allowed to vote, where women and men are allowed to vote. You turn 18, you register to vote, and you have a say. In so many of those countries that I named, that system of government doesn't exist. So when we walked out of the room, I have chills as I say this. When we walked out of that room after our oath ceremony, they had the League of Women Voters right there ready to register us to vote. Our oath ceremony was on October 5th. October 10th, yesterday, was the very last day to register to vote in Missouri. So we had 5 days to register, to make our voices count in this election. And every single one of those 51 people walked out and stood in line and took that time to register. And while I have lived in a family, my husband votes and his parents vote, and I have friends that vote, I've never been able to. But the people that stood in line with me, they've never lived in a country where that is a right. They've never been able to do that. And one of the things that I have found, someone actually did the comparison for me that when someone converts religions, they are more apt to be adamant about that religion. And maybe that's one of the reasons that I am so vehement about this. But it is extraordinary to me because when you look at statistics, depending on which statistics you believe, somewhere between 60 and 70% of the people who are eligible to vote, 60 to 72% of the people who are eligible to vote in this country are registered. Where are the other 30 plus people? I was reading a survey that said that some people don't vote because they're too busy. Tell that to the people from China and the Congo. Yemen is arguably the poorest country in the Arab world, and in the Second Congo War, there have been more than 5 million people that have been killed since 1998, and China certainly doesn't have the rights that we do. The vice presidential debate is going to happen tonight, and I will participate in a Google Hangout with ABC News, and we're going to talk about our opinions on the debate. So many of the people who came and took the oath ceremony last week, in their countries, they would be jailed for talking about their opinions of politicians. They couldn't stand on a street corner and say, I don't like Mitt Romney or Barack Obama. I don't like, I agree with, I don't agree with Joe Biden or Paul Ryan. That is an extraordinary right. And so to me, that is an extraordinary responsibility that we have to educate ourselves and to vote. That same survey that I mentioned that people were saying they were too busy to vote, which sounds like apathy to me. Some people were saying that none of the candidates resonated with them, so they won't vote. Or they feel as though candidates are controlled by special interests, and so they're not going to vote because they can't tell who is controlled by whom. I think it's our job to dig as deep as we can. It's my responsibility to myself and to my family, to my children. I hope you're registered to vote. I hope that you'll make your voice heard. I sound a little soapboxy. I know that I do, but I'm going to take this right because I am really excited about having this opportunity for the very first time. And I would love to know what you think. Are you registered to vote? If you're not registered to vote, or if you're not choosing to vote, and it's not because you're too busy, and it's not because, or maybe it's because you don't have a candidate that resonates with you, I would love to know why. Just because maybe there's a reason that I don't know anything about, and I'm curious. I'm always looking for someone who has an alternative opinion. So send me a comment. Put in your comments below. You can always find me on Twitter at Danielle Smith TV. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel because I love to have you coming back. Thank you as always for watching and for sharing my excitement. Thank you.